Hey guys, thanks for joining us today on the Elation Podcast. We are here with Robert Anthony Jacobs, aka Bobby, aka Mr. Man, aka Fast Eddie, aka branding expert, aka artist. I just keep going, but I'm gonna let you keep going. How's that? What are you doing here today?
Um, I guess we're gonna sit here and talk.
We're gonna talk.
People are gonna record it, and then we're gonna upload it to the internet, and
Yeah.
people are gonna listen to it
Yeah,
later.
yeah, but I meant it more like pointedly. Like you were actually here today to do something at Elation, which is paint, right?
Yeah, I'm taking a break from painting to talk about painting,
Okay.
amongst other things. So, yeah, I got in town a week ago, Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little situation on the weekend. Somebody got 1 year older
This guy, that guy, yeah,
to my fucking left. um, that was fun.
yeah.
What was it? The
Hogs for a cause.
Hogs for a Cause. Yeah, a lot of pigs.
Yeah, 39, my last year of excuses. So I feel like that was a really good way to get drunk and stupid, and now I can have that excuse all year, and then next year I'll have to deal with something else. But
Yeah,
I feel like it was a really good way to end the 30s.
Yeah, 40 is gonna be more like travel for the cause, somewhere really.
Travel for my cause.
Yeah, for your cause. Hopefully not to the nearest hospital.
Yeah, well, depends if you're there or not. But
Yeah, depends. We'll be there soon. Enough.
depends. We'll be there soon. Yeah.
You threw a kick-ass party though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was good to have you there. But let's talk a bit about you for a little bit. Where are you from?
My mom's vagina, originally. Born and raised in Los Angeles, California.
I was the catcher.
Yeah. Always behind the plate. Yeah, I was born in the Valley, Great 1-8, up in West Hills. Spent a majority of my first 18 years there, bouncing around. Lived all over California, San Diego, San Francisco, but I usually find myself back in LA.
Yeah. It's definitely home for you. I mean, LA has, obviously that's where we met. I met you there, and I learned LA through you. So there's nothing more LA to me than you. So I feel like it's always going to bring you back around somehow, no matter what you end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's home. That's home base. I would prefer not to be there 12 months out of the year, but, it's got everything you would want out of a big city and a lot more. I feel at home there. I don't feel out of place. It's inspired me.
Well, especially for doing what you're doing, which is, graphic design is such a basic way to put what you do, and as an artist, you are a true artist with the paint stuff and with your branding and your the way you you take things out of your mind and make them someone's life journey, if that makes sense. Because just my logo for Elation, which you obviously branded Elation, it literally changed my direction of my entire life. So that's a lot of power, that I feel like you hold, and I feel like LA is a good place to move that power around, if that makes sense. It's a place that accepts that.
Yeah. Do you remember the night we met in LA? Like I was
I
looking.
remember the exact moment. I remember where I was sitting. I remember the people around, and I remember the room. It was crazy. I do remember it, like vividly.
Yeah, I was actually in North Hollywood. I was living at this, I don't know, like 10-unit condo building. And I'd been there, I don't know, like 6 months. And then one night, like a bunch of music people moved into this lower level unit. And there was like, I don't know, anywhere from like 8 to 12 of them living there at the time. And we became friends. We met in the elevator. Like they spoke my language, I spoke theirs. We started hanging out, and I'm in there one night just playing FIFA. Not doing anything inconspicuous, and you walk in. The other dude in the room that has the same complexion as I do, and you got this watch on that's blinding me, and our boy Jimmy, he leans over and he goes, "That's David Adams." he goes, "From Florida, the man." And then as soon as he says it, you look over at me, and you get this look on your face like,
What are
"Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, that was exactly what I said in my head.
Yeah.
Shout out Jimmy, Miss Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Newsoul.
Yeah, love
man.
Jimmy.
Cosmos.
Yeah, I remember the moment. I do.
And then I think within a few weeks later, you actually, I rented you out a room in my spot that lasted maybe 15 to 30 work days.
Well, all right. Well, let's get it right. So I was out there to find a studio
Right.
to open a studio, and
Yeah, you were scouting.
I was scouting for studios, and at that moment, so I found one in those 2 weeks and opened up the studio on Burbank.
Yep.
But I decided to live in the lobby, and then
Great lobby.
it was a great lobby. But then I realized that showering was difficult and things were difficult, and I was like, and your roommate had just moved out,
Yeah.
and it was right down the street from the studio, and I was like, man, it would be great to just have a spot that I could just dip to and da 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 da. So we did it, and I think I took 2 showers there, and then you called me and you were like, hey, I gotta be out in 30 days. They
Yeah.
stole my unit.
My landlord decided to sell the unit as I was living there. He actually offered it to me first. I'm like, where do you think I'm going to come up with $50,000 for a down payment? Looking back on it, I wish I would have figured it out. 'Cause
Right.
I think it just sold for like $20 million. A 3-bedroom condo in NoHo. But yeah, it was. You were the shortest, quickest roommate, easiest one I've ever had. I think.
I don't even think I moved my clothes in.
No, you didn't.
It was funny. But I went
No,
back
you
to the
didn't- I don't
lobby.
think you ever got a key.
No, I went back to the lobby and stayed there, and I was there until 1600 and Vine. But
And then what's funny enough is I moved into the studio after that place was sold.
that's right, you moved into the B room. In the back.
Lowercase b room. Literally living in a studio at a time when there's 100 or so people coming through every day making beats at every hour of the day. Was one of the best times of my life. Looking back on it, it was a lot of fun. Talk about just like jumping in the deep end.
We just dove into creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't not be creative where we were at.
No, I think that's when we bullshitted about the branding.
We got to talk about Lads. Yeah, that's when Lads everything came into play, right?
Well, yeah, no,
Because Elation was first, I guess.
Well, I had a clothing line at the time that I'd been running. I don't know for like.
Because you've been doing clothes since you were in 10th grade. So
Yeah,
like
I started Wanted. Shout out to Wanted Clothing Company. It's on the shelf right now, but it started when I was 15 in high school. Very exclusive brand because we didn't make a ton of stuff, and it was more of a brand that all of us could wear at school, where other uncool kids weren't going to be wearing the same thing, but also the punk rockers, the skateboarders. It was like my introduction to fashion design.
right.
A lot of fun. It lasted for a couple years while I was in high school. Kind of died out after. But my dad, and this was the last time he ever gave me money, was when I was 15 for that first box of clothes. He gave me $300, and I was able to make a couple dozen shirts in 2 different colors, and that turned into, I don't know, everything I've done design-wise,
That's
creatively
crazy.
since.
That's crazy.
And I've never taken another dollar from the man, and it's really that initial super seed investment that kicked that into gear. But if you fast forward to 2000, 13, 14, right around the time we met, I was co-founder of Lads, Los Angeles dope shop. Me and Diego.
Shout out Diego. I miss Diego.
Diego's
we had
a
some
man.
fun.
Yeah,
We had some fun.
Diego Boomy, Diego Lads.
Diego illegal.
Yeah, Diego. Diego Adios, United States.
Diego, I shouldn't be here. I have no social security number.
Yeah.
Which is why he's not here, but he's living his life in Spain right now. So, in Spain or somewhere around there.
Spain, Barcelona, Bali.
Yeah, he's living a shit life. I could see.
He bounced right around the time of the 2016 election. No correlation. But he was the man. It was his brainchild, actually. It was his idea. Funny story. I didn't know I ever told you this. We met on the set of a Too Short music video, downtown Los Angeles. And the only reason my ass was on this video shoot was because I owned a LAPD cop uniform, right? Because I was doing like background, extra, like stunts and stuff at the time.
You were on a movie that's on Netflix.
Yeah, a few of them.
Crossing Point.
Yeah, don't forget about the Lifetime movies that circulate.
Yeah, nobody wants to see you naked. Except for your new wife. Congratulations. Anyway, move on.
I'll get back to that.
Okay.
So I had my own cop uniform. My acting manager / good friend, Scotty Collins, he calls me up one day, like it's like a Thursday.
Scotty, I forgot about Scotty.
Yeah,
I love Scotty.
Scotty Collins.
Scotty Collins.
Congrats now.
Oh.
What's that all about?
Oh, what's that all about?
He calls me up on like a Thursday afternoon. He's like, "Hey, you want to go downtown and work on this music video?" I'm like, "Not really. I got shit to do." I didn't have shit to do. He's like, "It's rapper like,"
but that is like the LA like. I don't really want to do it. I got shit to do. Fuck it, I'll do it.
He's like, it'll pay.
It's like trying to play cool, like and then,
I really
and then
didn't
you
want
hang up. Like, I'm on my way.
I really didn't want to drive downtown at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday from North Hollywood. So, but he's like, "Oh, it's this rapper." Like, I don't know. He's like, I'm like, "Who?" He's like something short. I'm like, "Too Short?" He's like, "Yeah, Too Short." He's like, "Too Short," and I'm like,
He's
I fuck with Too Short.
Diego's Brazilian, so let's just say it like that. So he didn't necessarily grow up on early 90s rap music, right?
This wasn't Diego. It was Scotty.
Oh, Scotty. I'm sorry. We're talking about Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty calls me because he would get me.
Right.
He would get me gigs. He would book me out. He would be like, "Yo, go to this job, go to that job." He kept me busy.
Yeah.
This particular one, I wasn't gonna be on camera, so I was like, "Fuck this! Man. What am I doing?" He's like, "But it's Too Short." So I'm like, "But the kicker was," he goes, "You guys are about the same height, same width. He needs a cop uniform for the shoot because the shoot calls for Short wearing like an LAPD uniform.
Right.
They didn't have one that fit him like around. I had it.
That's some random shit.
Super random shit, right? So I gather up my gear. I head downtown, and I'm just like basically kicking it on set. I get like pretty much put into like Short's green room. He's in there with the cat from Dead Presidents. Think of his name in a second. Really cool actor / like he was directing the music video. But who was also there was this crazy tattooed out, like stylish guy named Diego with a whole little film crew of his own. And I saw that they were all wearing like this one specific brand, Lads. And he was, he got Short in a couple shirts. He was taking pictures, like this and that. He turns out to be really good friends with Todd. Too Short, his real name.
Gotcha.
And at the time, I was not doing my own brand. I was actually doing some design work for this company called the Blonde Locks, which is like another LA streetwear company at the time that was being ran by this cool chick, Blonde Locks. And so I was like decked out in that gear. So I see him, he's got his gear, I got my gear, and I'm like, yo, like, cool gear, even though it really wasn't that cool because it was like very amateur and very just like, it's like just starting out.
Yeah.
But like I saw that he was
There was a moment you saw it, a spark. There was
Yeah.
creativity there.
and we linked up, and I'm like, yo, like your designs are kind of whack. Like, let me like take a shot at a couple, see what's up. You fast forward, and we clicked like
Right.
crazy. Like we're next thing I know, we're meeting up, designing, coming up with the actual logo, all these different designs that would build the company's like foundation. And this is right around the time that Vine and Instagram were blowing up. Vine was like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a lot of connections to these social media like influencers before that was even really a term. And so did I, living in LA.
Right.
And we were able to basically get the brand on everyone that was,
Cool.
relevant, cool.
Yeah.
And so we had a whole like empire of kids wearing it. Plus rappers like, The Game and Short and a bunch of other legitimate like legends that were, I'm gonna name drop everybody that were around the time.
Right.
So we were like combining like real like hip hop West Coast and young influencers at the same time. And
Right.
it was like a very rare, like special circumstance. And this is right around the time we met you. And right when you got the studio and started making some moves, Lads got picked up into Kitson.
I know. That was the big move. That's what started us in business 100%.
Completely.
Because I saw the movement and I saw things that were happening and the studio, I needed influencers. I needed people I needed cool things around the studio to bring in cool people for artists and artists and branding and clothing all go hand in hand. So I'm thinking like, y'all needed money for production.
Yeah.
To get a big order from Kitson. So I don't know if y'all don't know, but Kitson was the largest retailer on the private retailer on the West Coast. They had the best locations. I mean, it was
Best locations.
Apple Store, Kitson.
Yeah, they're all off Robertson and Melrose. And the thing about Kitson is that's where the celebrities and the cool kids shopped.
Yeah.
Big names would come in there and they would shut the front doors and have a security guard out front and just let them shop.
Right.
They had all the cool stuff.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really cool store. And I mean, that just blew my head. And I was like, man, yeah, let me be a part of it. So
Yeah.
So I put up the money for the production.
You did.
Y'all did the work. And we were in Kitson for the end of the second order, right? They reordered.
They put in a big order originally, and we were in 7 stores across Southern California and one in Vegas.
Madonna wore our shirt.
Crazy, yeah.
Right?
Madonna wore one of the Tupac shirts, and what's crazy is
On the Paris Fashion Week.
no, I think it was actually.
I thought it was Paris Fashion Week, but it was something like that.
She might have wore it there too. She was seen wearing the shirt a lot at the time, so I've heard.
She definitely bought it at Kitson.
She had to buy it at Kitson because
Yeah.
it was the only store that it was available in. It wasn't even online.
Right.
And what's wild about that is, I was at the shop on Hollywood one day, and one of our employees, Jessica, she walks in, and she's like, "Did you hear the news? Like, did you see like blah blah?" And I'm like, "No, like what's up?" And she's like, "Madonna's like wearing like the Tupac shirt," and like, I guess the optometry place next door like saw it and came and showed her, and then she showed me, and like sure enough, she's on the red carpet. I believe it was in Vegas, and it was like something to do with Pac's 20th anniversary.
Oh, really? For some reason I thought it was Paris Fashion Week. But anyway.
Yeah, same thing pretty much, but she, all the rumors about her and Pac. I think she was showing homage to him that night, and maybe like admitting sexy time,
sexy time
with Pac. But yeah, that was super. I mean, for me, it's like I've been designing clothes like since I was 15, like we talked about, and to see her in something I put together, it was almost like, okay, I don't really need to do fashion anymore if I don't want to. Like, it was like an award.
Yeah.
It felt. I mean, because she's up there, you
Yeah,
know.
100%.
It's not just like some dude on TikTok or
No,
It's
no, no,
like
no,
that's
no.
fucking Madonna.
There's icons. That's an
Yeah.
icon.
It's like Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, and
Right.
the other two were dead,
Right.
or close to it anyway at the time. So yeah, that was big. That was cool. And thank you for what you did back then.
Absolutely, man.
That took that brand to the next level, and it gave everybody a purpose and a job, and a lot of hard work paid off. Fortunately,
it gave me a purpose. Like it did a lot for me because it started a lot of ideas and things in me that I didn't know I could handle or do, and you know, you always push my limits on things that forced me to be more creative and forced me to get out of just thinking in the random, like, normal shit, you know. So like, I thank you for that shit. But Lads was a beautiful moment in time that led us to Chasing Billions, which Chasing Billions is something that we definitely are going to be ramping up. But yes, the honeycomb, save the bees. But all of that turned into something that I'm really proud of you for, because you took all of those design moments and those business moments and turned it into a real artist, as in painting and in doing franchises and doing, you know, real corporate work, but actual artistry. And yeah, graphic design is artist, don't get me wrong. But when you can take a blank canvas and just freehand, you know, like something in your head, and it comes to fruition, and you get paid for that. That moment, for me, was, I feel like, your biggest moment in your career, because that moment shows you this truly is my art, and this is truly someone affirming me, in my opinion. You know, so
yeah,
tell me a little bit about the, you know, Chris and Eddie's and your franchises and things that have hired you to give them a brand and a look and a feel.
yeah, no doubt. Having the background in graphic design, doing fashion for years, that was always what I saw myself doing when I was younger. Um, you know, if 18-year-old me saw me at 27, they would be more than accomplished, ecstatic, and blown away, right? Uh, I never would have thought that I would be making a living doing art, painting. It's not even something I don't know, even dreamt about. I mean, I used to draw a lot as a kid. I used to fuck around. I used to do things that were just, I wanted to get out of my head. But getting, you know, Lads in the Kitchen, getting like the shop on Hollywood Boulevard, and then starting to do some bigger paint projects just for the overall aesthetic of these places. Even your first studio, like doing the giant EE on the side of the wall. And I don't know if you remember, we had the grand opening at the shop. Some random painting that I made from a piece of IKEA furniture that was just on the wall to look cool. There's so much wall space. Someone bought it for like $300. It cost me like, you know, $10 and some time to make. And
Remember the bear out of the
yeah,
the garbage?
Yeah, I found this ceramic bear and
it's a white ceramic bear, right?
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's like supposed to be, I guess, a coffee table. So I completely redid it, gave it my touch. I made it look like it was like basically it was a cocaine bear before cocaine bear was a thing.
Right, it really was,
because it was all red and eyes were shot and it had this glass surface. And I used to tell people that he OD'd doing blow. And some dude bought it for like $800.
I know, I remember.
This guy actually, he still hits me up. He wants like a certificate of authentication for it. I'm like,
I remember what trash can I got it.
Yeah, I can't link this back completely.
That's funny.
But yeah, so then, you know, that led to some pretty big stuff. Dave's Hot Chicken. shout out to them, great guys. They actually started popping up originally in the parking lot next to the shop. Started selling fried chicken on Hollywood Boulevard. One night we're all there and we just start smelling food and we walk out. And there's a huge line, and there's 3 dudes frying chicken, and they're selling out every night. And they did it for, a solid year. They ended up opening up their first store in Western, and now they have, I think, over 100 stores nationwide, some in Canada. I got to paint several of their locations. But even bigger is that some of their good friends from childhood and from school, Chris and Eddie, they started their own slider shop. They did a pop up similar to Dave's up on Sunset, and Dave's kind of had their own artist team, their own look, and Armand, one of the Dave's founders, he suggested to Chris and Eddie that I do their inaugural store, like their first location. They're over there on Western and Sunset, and you're like, yo, you gotta have Bobby do your store. They originally wanted to do the same artist, and Armand was like, no, go with Bobby, let him do his thing. Give him this one, and he'll be your artist moving forward. And so this was my first big job as far as an artist painting. And I'm telling you, they didn't have anything. They had a logo,
Right.
But they had a very good product, and I really fucked with the guys personally. And it was a block or two away from the shop, and this was right smack dab middle in the pandemic.
Right.
This was like August of 2020. And I had about 3 weeks. I came up with a bunch of different concepts, pitched it to them. They let me run wild with it. And to this day, I still think it's some of my best work creatively.
Absolutely.
The store came out amazing. I gave them an entire look, a concept.
And people are there buying and spending money. I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, and it's gotten me actually a lot of work since then. People that have just come in to buy burgers, see the art, and they've reached out to me, and it's landed me some pretty cool clients. And the feedback's been amazing. I mean, obviously there's people that don't like everything you do, and there's funny. There's a Yelp comment where someone mentioned that it's like a 9-year-old kid did the artwork in the store. And I think that's
awesome.
It's a compliment.
I told you to give me adult Nickelodeon, right? That's what I told you for the building. It's the same. What adults want to be in that,
Yeah.
But I'm happy and proud of you for doing all that stuff, man. That's awesome, Bobby. All right.
Let's get to the third trimester first.
All right, so let's talk about some of the Elation collaborations that you've done or what you're doing right now, because this building is taking shape a lot because of what you're doing on the walls.
Yeah, I'm back out here, about 2 years later from when I was first here in 2022. The studio looks amazing, by the way. You're killing it. When I was here last, I think I still had to sand the walls and break down a few just to get things up.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun then. Definitely a bigger challenge, but being back now feels great because I could just get to work, which I've been doing. It's only been a few days in, but progress so far is coming out. I mean, you tell me, what do you think about what's going on so far?
I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's finally, it's tying everything together,
Yeah.
I feel like you painted everything you could have painted last time.
Right. Yeah. And then probably a little extra. But it definitely feels good to be back and touch up some of that work that wasn't completely finished, and get after all these fresh walls and bring it home. I still think this place is so big and got so much going on that I definitely can't finish what I would have in my mind within this trip,
No.
so I'll definitely be
No.
back.
We'll do back again.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I can come out here, once a week every month and just keep getting after it if it was up to me. But it feels good being. I love the city. I love the food, the culture, the art. It's definitely like a little away from home
Right.
for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having you here and this place, it feels like what we started back then has grown into this prospering young admirable citizen that's like starting to shred his stuff in the world.
Right.
All the gear looks good. The crew you got is amazing. You're really killing it, and just being a part of that brings me elation.
Awesome.
Pun definitely intended, but also not. I mean, it is a lot of euphoria to be a part of something that's actually moving. It's
Right.
actually doing something. It's not just a bunch of talk and bullshit. Like, we're kicking ass, taking names, getting paid, and having a lot of fun doing it. Plus, where a creative can walk into this place and just start doing what a creative is supposed to do,
Right.
and have all the editors and the engineers and the production team to assist that, like, that's fucking beautiful.
Right.
You can't ask for a whole lot more than that.
Right.
You could be broke, rich, fat, dumb, stupid, or lazy, but if your thing is to create and you got a place to do that, that's everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, we definitely tried to make it easy for the vibe to catch, and easy for the industry needed equipment.
Right.
Like everything at your fingertips. I don't, my actual, what started the whole thought process was the YouTube facility. When I ended up going to YouTube facility and seeing that they allow their YouTube subscribe, anybody who's got more than 10,000 subscribers can go to the YouTube facility and sign in and shoot for free.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you everything that you need: cameras, lights,
Yeah.
and sets, all kinds of stuff. And I said, man, this is where you can truly blossom as a creative,
Right.
in a space like that. So, but
Yeah, it's plug and play. It's
plug and play.
It's a launch pad.
Yeah.
There's tech terms, but it really is. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, I know you branded Elation, but what brings elation to you in your life?
What brings elation to me in my life? I mean, good conversations, hanging out with friends and family, jet skis. They say money can't buy happiness, but you ever seen someone sad on a jet ski in the middle of summer?
Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pray for Diddy.
He's about the saddest right now on a jet ski, you can imagine.
Yeah, he still might, smirk when he hits that wave going 35. But, I mean, the cliche answer is, yeah, I mean, doing what you love with the right people.
Well,
also, good food, good intoxicants, and finding the ones you love,
Yeah.
and
well,
spending your life with the ones you want to.
well, congrats to find the one you love too.
Yeah.
On that. So happy for you.
Yeah, Natalia Jacobs.
There
I
it
love
is. Awesome.
I officially got married in January of this year. This is not everybody knows this, so this would be more of a public statement, I guess. Sorry, mom and dad. I'll tell you soon. But yeah, we had a private ceremony on our rooftop in LA, but I'm gonna do an official one at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna have to party for that one.
Yeah.
But why don't you tell everybody your socials and where they can find you and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use all of them. I try not to spend too much screen time. My mom doesn't allow me more than a couple hours a day. But Robert Anthony Jacobs, I know it's boring. It's my full name. That's on Instagram. It's also my website, robertanthonyjacobs.com. I'm not on X or TikTok. YouTube channel is just getting put up, so there will be a lot more of what I've done to show off. I mean, really, the past few years, I've been in the trenches, grinding, and working, and building the real things that matter,
Right.
as opposed to diving too much into the social media. But I know it's important. I know I got to do that a little bit more. But yeah, short answer: Robert Anthony Jacobs, Instagram.
All right, guys, check it out. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for having
it.
me.
And I always love talking to you, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, let's get some food maybe and some more paint.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us here at Elation, where we find exhilarating euphoria through creation and collaboration.
God bless.